My team is increasingly using AI to produce their work. How do I evaluate and develop people when I can't always tell what's their thinking versus the AI's? And how do I give meaningful feedback on someone's growth when the nature of their work is changing underneath them? What do you think, Kim? You want to tackle it?
Sure. So here's what I would say about this. In some senses, when you are giving people feedback about work that AI has done, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. It's a little bit like giving a manager feedback about what their team has done. They haven't done it all, but their people have done it all, and the buck stops with them. So they're still responsible for the work output. And so, in some senses, this makes it much harder, and in other senses, it makes it much easier because there's a little bit less ego involved, maybe. So you can say, "This is really interesting. What did you think about how this came? How did you get AI?" So ask a little bit about how they did what they did. How did you get AI to do this for you? And that will help educate you about how they're thinking about how they use AI. So now you're not exactly soliciting advice, but you're soliciting their expertise. So you're acknowledging that you're learning from them. And that feels good to people usually. And then you ask them what they think of the output and how would it have been different if you had to do it yourself. Get them excited about using this to enhance what they can accomplish as individuals. And you don't want to ever make them feel like they cheated for using it, and that can feel tempting. So you want to get excited about the fact that they're using it. And they're automating. You want to get them excited about automating away the parts of the job they don't want to do, and so that they can spend more time doing, really developing the parts of the job that they do want to do. Because the one thing I've noticed about AI is that engineers will say, "Oh, we don't need any more designers because we have AI." And then the designers are like, "Oh, we don't need any more engineers because like AI gets the first 80% done, but you have to have the expertise to get it 100% of the way done." And so working with people to help them understand that and to help you understand how they're working. And then they can critique in some senses the reason why it can make giving uh, criticism about work easier is that they're critiquing the work that the AI did. And then you're brainstorming together about how to solve that problem. So those are some quick thoughts. I don't know, Meg, tell me why I'm wrong.
Love it. So first off, your thing about everybody thinks it's somebody else's job that needs to be disrupted reminds me very much of when my kids were little and I was, a rookie mom, and I asked my 5-year-old, like, "Hey, it's almost Christmas. Let's go through your toys and get rid of stuff you don't want." And she proceeded to point to every one of her sister's toys as the perfect
Yeah,
candidates to be given
yeah,
away.
exactly.
So
And likewise, whenever, people would say like, "Oh, we have too many priorities, we're doing too many things." And then we'd say, "Oh, well, what should we stop
Stop
doing?"
doing.
"Oh,
Well,
what they're
you
doing."
should stop doing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
those other
Yeah.
people are so lazy. Yeah.
When I was at Google, there were all these, we called them the wonder kids, these engineers who could really build a rapid prototype. And it was easy to mistake that rapid prototype for a product, but it was not a product. And I think AI does a lot of that.
I love the fact that your recommendation, and I want to build on that, is to really acknowledge that when we're in a moment where individuals are behaving like managers for the AI. And so I think a lot of the tools of how we would coach managers and how we would teach people to be first line managers without the really hard part of like managing the people side, but managing the work of others side, I think there is a lot that we can lean on. And so I love everything that you were saying. I would add a few more pieces in that. I would um, continue to have the conversation on the upside, right? The whole point of all of this is to celebrate and ask each of us how we can stretch, how we can do more, how we can offload more, and then focus your curiosity around helping them make sure that in directing the work of others, they're not giving away their own learning and they're not giving away their own ownership of to your point, whatever the results are. And more importantly, to understanding it. And so this is often what happens when people maybe become one-over managers for the first time. And then they kind of lose the plot and they'll end up in a meeting and somebody will say, well, how is that happening? And they will not have built for themselves the tools to understand it at enough depth that they feel confident to be questioned about the work of their teams. And so I think it's all of that skill building.
That's a great parallel, Meg. I really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many mixed messages of, use AI, use AI or you'll fall behind, or don't use AI because it's cheating, right? Like, and like both of those are coming together. But obviously the use of AI is really important. And I loved how you put it, Kim, that it's just really about that curiosity, making sure that your team members know that you're deeply interested in what they're learning and exploring and what they're producing and how and why and like what's making them tick, and to be aware, like Meg said, of where are we starting to lose a little bit of our own grasp, and being really vulnerable that this could be happening to ourselves as well. Like it's not just our team members, but it's us as well, right?
When you become a manager of managers, you still need to be able to get 2 layers deep into the work. Into you need to understand at a depth. You're not gonna know everything, but you need to be able to spelunk. And I think with AI, we all still need to be able to spelunk. But if you think I mean, if you can if you can make this promise and uphold this promise.
I think at this point, though, the AI is getting better and better at doing the higher level tasks. So it's not just the boring stuff. Like AI can actually do a better job of solving problems and writing your paper and your specs and like all of the like cool stuff, right?
But let's figure out what we can do that it can't do. What I can do that it can't do is have a real human conversation with someone.
All right. Are we ready to wrap up?
I think so.
I'm ready, although I'm not ready. I love this conversation, and I'd love to keep talking.
I
Thank you
know. It's so
so
fun.
much.
It's
This
so
has been
fun.
just delightful. We really appreciate having you, Kim, and we absolutely want to join your group of people that are using our voices to help out any way we possibly can.
Yeah, and we're gonna have your books, Radical Candor, Radical Respect, showing here, as well as your your Radical Candor podcast, which is amazing. Anything else?
Compass.radicalcandor.com. Getting AI to write the feedback and send it in an email is a disaster. But getting AI to help you prepare to have a real human conversation is actually quite useful.
Thank you so much, Kim. I am so excited to see where this year takes us. So let's invent the future together, everyone. I believe in us.
Let's make every day count.
Let's be radically candid.